Our next inductee is someone who I actually know pretty well, and so do I love, who's just a tremendous personality. And everybody I know in the sport of wrestling who knows Matt Ghaffari loves him. He's just a great guy. He's great to be around, and he's another one of those great stories. Matt had a pretty good college career, qualified for the NCAAs, but there was nothing about his collegiate career that would cause you to believe he was going to go on to become the most decorated international Greco-Roman wrestler in history for the United States, right? But he did. And not only did he do it, you got to listen to the consistency of what he did. He was 7-time U.S. National Greco-Roman champion. He was, to this day, a record 9-time Pan American champion, 4-time World Cup champion, 13-time Grand Prix champion, 4-time Canada Cup champion. He was 2000 Olympic All-Around. I believe that Matt had a meaningful amount to do, along with certainly great coaches, with the development of Rulon Gardner. I was right there at that match in 2000. That was a match in the Olympic trials. It was a great match, and that's where Rulon emerged. He didn't just beat anybody. He beat our most decorated international Greco-Roman wrestler in history, right? And who'd have thought that after giving Alexander Karelin in '96 all and everything he could possibly handle, that iron sharpening iron went on to help Rulon prepare himself to beat Jerome. And I like to think that you have a lot to do with that, Matt. And I know you do. In 1996 and 1998, the U.S. Olympic Committee named Matt U.S. Greco-Roman Athlete of the Month. In 1999, the USOC, he finished 5th in voting for USOC Sportsman of the Year. And if you know Matt, what kind of a guy he is, you can understand that. I can't, frankly, think of anybody who's a better sportsman. As I said before, in Atlanta in '96, his leadership, his kindness, he had time for everybody, always took the time. You should see him around kids. He's just an extraordinary person. So it's a great privilege, man. I mean, sincerely, it's a great honor to be here tonight to recognize you. Please come up here and receive the induction that you so well deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Ghaffari, our most decorated international wrestler.
Thank you so much. This is a great honor. I'm so excited to be here among all my coaches. It's an honor to be part of Dan Gable Museum, Alan and Grace Rice, Champion Hall, but also it's important to be in the same room from people who helped me. Like Dennis, my first love was football. I blew my knee out in junior year in high school when I was seeded 3rd. I grew up 20 minutes from Bruce Baumgartner's high school. I had a joke with his family and his wife that he beat me through high school, college, and 2 Olympics. To get ready for Karelin, Baumgartner was my first coach. But I would have probably quit wrestling in '84. My parents had the idea for me I was the first person to my family to go to college, and we moved to America. They still said I spoke broken English, fluent wrestling, but sports was a way for me to get involved in high school and learn American culture. But in 1983, in a sports festival in Colorado Springs, I finished 3rd, and Dan Gable invited me to Pan American Freestyle Camp in Iowa. And at that time, I stayed at the Hawkeye House and trained. I got beat up by Lou Bannick, Ed Bannick, Gibson, Bruce Baumgartner, but I show up a bit early. And Dan told me I had heart. And I said, Coach, I'm just here to learn and observe. I don't think I've been in this sport for long. And all he said was just try to get better tomorrow than you are today. And that stayed with me. And I watched those guys go to Pan Ams and do very well. And then Olympic trials. I wasn't a number 1 alternate. I wasn't a number 2 alternate in freestyle. I was number 4 alternate. That means I finished 5th. But they make it nice to give you 4th alternate. I went home. I graduated from college. And I was getting a summer job. Phone rings. And like everything else in your life, the next phone call, the next person you meet in the bus stop, the next guy in line could change your life. And That's what my attitude been through life. Honor and respect everybody, because you don't know. And Dan Gable calls, what are you doing? Coach, I'm getting a very good job, I graduated. He's like, no, we're gonna fly you out here. Number 1 alternate, Bruce hurt. Number 2 alternate, Bruce hurt. Number 3 alternate refused to come. You're our number 1 alternate. And I'm glad Dan Gable's here, because I said I'm not coming. He said, no, you know, how much are you gonna make in your summer job? We pay you. I said, it's not about the money. I don't think I'm good. He said, you know what, you step on my foot. That was my move through high school and college. And you frustrate Bruce, and he hates me. He never gets mad, but you make him mad. You make his boy, just come out here, something's gonna happen. And I flew out to Big Bear Lake and went through the summer. And watching the Olympics, like we call it 5-ring fever. I saw the Canadian won a silver, I saw Bruce won. And I knew if I work hard, and if I get up and run early, if I do a little bit more, I can accomplish my dream of being a U.S. Olympian. In 88 trials, I only did freestyle. And I moved up to be number 3 alternate, that was finishing 4th. We had Hasselbeck come out, he was a 3-time NCAA champion, he wanted to play football, and it was close matches. And at that time, Dan Chandler pulled me aside. He said the same thing. I'm sorry. But at that time, it was 220 was stacked with Polish. And Karelin hasn't come out yet, and your brother was thinking about retiring. He says, you know, Bruce is not going to retire. I said, I waited my chance for freestyle in the next Olympic. He says, you come for Greco, you can be Olympic champion. And I looked down, you know, he was my stockbroker at that time. So I said, if I trust him with my money, I can trust him with my sports career. But he did, you know, and I was going to talk to my coaches about that. Dennis Kozlowski was our first national Greco-Roman coach. He was my first coach. And he taught me everything about running intervals, 440s, 220s, 100. And I keep saying, Dennis, I'm a heavyweight, I don't run. And he keeps saying, no, conditioning will win matches. As an American, we don't look up as being technical wrestlers. We have heart, and we have what they call strength and conditioning, so we take that as an advantage. But I trusted Dan Chandler, I trusted Dennis, but I decided to do both sports. One of the reasons I have 9 Pan Ams, because in 3 of them I won both freestyle and Greco. Between 88 to 92, I was number 1 and number 2 in national team in Greco, and I was number 2 and number 3 in freestyle. So at that time, my dream was to be like Wayne Bachman. My dream was to make it to both sports, but it was very hard to make the Olympic team. And when Mike Hawk came, Dennis used to lead by example. He used to sprint with us, train with us. Dennis thought, I could beat these guys, all these guys, even heavyweight. And I think I was very happy to be my teammate in Barcelona. And you know, wrestling was a very important part of it. And I learned a lot in Barcelona, that you can't catch a rabbit going 2 different ways. And at that time, I finished my freestyle career because I was waiting for Bruce to retire. And you gotta remember, the other reason people don't go out with Greco, college and freestyle is more sexier. You're not only all these college newspapers and ranking, but also for freestyle, you have other opportunities. And in 92, and also with the start of our training program, and Mike Houck and then Steve Frazier, all my 3 national coaches, whoever coached me in the international levels are here. And I'm very thankful. If it wasn't for US Wrestling and nationals programs and also the training center and Anatoly Petrosyan and Momar, we wouldn't be here. You know, confidence, you have to grow. We are not well seasoned internationally because we travel to not every tournament in Europe or Russia, but when we go, we all looked upon us that, oh, Americans are spoiled, Americans are this, they watch movies and they think we all drive a Cadillac, we all have guns, and we all listen to rap. And I don't like rap, but there's nothing wrong with it. No, wrestling is very good to me. In Atlanta, I believe one of Dennis, and I think that Anatoly used the same analogy. You give everything you have on the mat and let him carry you on your shield. And that was the model we went into, just do your best. First time I wrestled Corella, I lost 11-1. And everybody was so happy in Concord because I just finished the Freestyle Grand Prix and I flew out there just to wrestle him. No one wanted to wrestle him. And I scored a point. And I was very disappointed in myself because I always believed in myself. And in Atlanta, I lost 1-0. And when I lost to Rulon, I told him in a locker room when we do our drug testing that was a gold medal match. I knew I could, with the new rules of clinch, I knew I could beat Corella. By you beating me, you're the future. And I know you can beat Corella. And on USA Today, the day before, I predicted we were going to gold medal. The hard part sometimes for us, and you call it a bad draw, is the night before when you have that bad draw, what you're going to do. You could win the Olympic medal or world medal the night before when you have your draw. Because mentally, if you say you don't want that guy and you get it, you just go out there and perform and do the best you can. And some days you win and sometimes you get lucky. In our sport, we're talking, you know, as Mr. Leroy Smith eloquently put it, how many times, different ways can you go back and forth in the swimming pool? There's a front, back, right side, left side, 400, 200, but we get one chance. And there's no do-over. If you sit, you don't feel good, you make weight, you step in the mat your first draw. If you lose now, you're sitting back waiting. So you got to take advantage of the opportunities. Thank you for having me here. Olympics have been a big part of me. I always wanted to represent this country and my sport with honor. I think the greatest athletes, greatest businessmen, Fortune had the article about wrestlers make great employees. We all just discipline and we do our best we can. And we are satisfied, and we are not like prima donna anthems. Wrestling is a humbling sport, great fraternity. And we always had shirts that says, better wrestle and lost than play basketball. And it's still true. Thank you for having me here. It's a great honor.
Matt, congratulations, it's so well earned.